Hi everyone, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It
Welcome to Friday
is
Live.
first week of May
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things this weekend. Um,
Yeah, a lot of things coming up in May.
it's Star Wars, right?
May the
Huge
4th be
thing.
with you.
And Cinco de Mayo on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But before that, before end of the week though,
Yeah.
this week, did you know? What's this week?
Small Business Week. It's this week is Small Business Week where we celebrate all small business owners.
So, yes, I mean, I think ever since COVID, there's a lot of talks and discussion about small businesses or side hustles.
Mm-hmm.
Even before that, I think the study there was a study saying that I think about 70% of all Americans has at some point in time started their own small business.
Yeah, and I think we're at the age of side hustles. I think a lot of the articles I read that's an ongoing trend, of the economic trend, the inflation's going.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody's going to start a side hustle to supplement their income.
Pretty much. So today a little more information about small businesses, about okay, starting out. What should you start thinking about when you have that idea? I have a business idea, but how do you go about it? What do you need to think about?
Business formation. How do you do that? How do you form a business?
So a lot of people have an idea and they just wouldn't do it. They did not think about the legal side of it. But
Mm-hmm.
what kind of business entity do you want it to be? Okay, so there are different concerns, and let's go through some of these. Okay, so um, what's the nature of business? Is it going to be just you, or do you have employees, or is it a husband and wife? What kind of situation it is. They are different functions or different like structures of different business entities
Mm-hmm.
that could benefit or that would fit in more with the type of business that you want to be.
See also what kind, is it a service industry? Is it a professional service? There are certain requirements and restrictions
Mm-hmm.
and considerations that you should have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, if it's a one person thing, it's okay if you want to go sole proprietor or you want to, do your own LLC or S Corp, C Corp, you can do a whole array of things. But when you have employees, when you do, then, it's a lot better to function with higher, more legal framework,
Mm-hmm.
more structured legally. So then you would be able to, have proper filings for employees and payroll tax and all that. Maybe think about employee benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So then you would want to adopt a more legal structure for your business entity. Um, and then we get to also think about what size of business you want.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, every little thing starts out small, but what do you have? What is your forecast? So
Yeah. Do you need an office? Or are you going to be virtual or everything's going to be remote? Do you need a staff? Can they be virtual or do they need to come into the office?
so that comes in, that
Or like
touches upon.
inventory. Do you need somewhere
Yeah,
to keep inventory?
that touches upon a lot of different contracts already. So if you need a space, you're gonna get into a lease. Do you lease it on behalf of a company or do you lease it on behalf of you as an individual? Now, when you have contracts with employees, who's actually making the contract? Is it the business or is it you? So
Mm-hmm.
different type of transaction, different type of contracts would it actually the common law, case law, they're all different. So it's something to think about when you want to get into any of those agreements.
And there are different requirements, like employment law requirements, workers' rights, and all that stuff that you need to consider as well.
And then on legal side, if you do decide to go for any actual business entity, like for example, the starting from partnership, LLC, limited liability corporation, your S corp, C corp, all those actually require official filings with the state.
Mm-hmm.
So all those are registered with the state. The state needs to keep track of you as a business entity,
Right.
both for liability wise and for tax purposes, for a lot of different things that they keep track of. So then, if you do that, decide to go with any one of the legal entities, then you have to keep yourself updated as to what you're required to do,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be fined or penalized or be found guilty of anything just be simply you miss a deadline kind of thing. So
Yeah.
um,
The
that
fees, the filing requirements.
right.
Also, type of investments. Do you need a loan? Would you need to obtain business loan. There's more contracts there.
So
Go to
business
the
loan.
bank or
Some people would, okay, I'll take out a personal loan, or I can even like take out advance drawings from credit card. So it depends on how big the loan amount it is. Maybe you should actually start a small business, so then you can take advantage of small business loans. Their SBA has a lot of incentives for business starting up. Or you need even bigger capital. Then you got to think about a more formal entity, and where
investors even, right?
Okay, so there are a lot of things to think about. And then tax wise, so then when you start out a business, you're gonna get into, hopefully you make money, right? But there any all the different things that you mentioned, inventory, or even just equipment, there appreciation or depreciation involved. There are also payroll. There's tax involved, and now payroll. It's actually, and then you have quarterly filings if it's on payroll. It's not just you file tax 1 year, once every year. It's basically so now you have quarterly stuff. So you have to keep track of all that, and then also if in your business, what kind of expenses are you allowed to have, and what kind of deductions that you can take on tax filing, and then if you are taking advantage of all the tax incentives. There are a lot of programs for businesses, small businesses, or whichever it is. You have to just educate yourself and keep updated, so you don't want to lose out. Yes, but you don't want to lose out on any incentives if there are any.
Even grants. There are a lot of business grants. If you qualify for grants, that's almost like,
it is free money.
Yeah.
Not almost. It is free money. So there could be grant, like
I
from
avoid
your,
saying that because I don't want to.
if you qualify. Okay, so of course, if you hit the threshold, you are entitled to it. It is free money. Okay, if you do qualify.
Yes.
So there are grants on very small level, even within your community. Okay.
Yeah, women-owned business, minority-owned. Know a lot of veterans. Know a lot of different ones.
Or in your own city, in your own county, or in the state.
To boost the economy, a lot of
levels.
Right.
Just maybe spend a little bit of time to search it out to see if you qualify for any. And then so that is the short term, but very importantly, know your liability. So when you do business, basically you make money, right? You try to make money off of the products that you sell or the people that you serve. Becomes liability. So it's something to something to be accounted. You have to take accountability for it.
Yeah, it's for you and for the people or customer,
for the longevity of your business too. Just to make sure you have good insurance coverage, and know what you're getting yourself into, and just be mindful and be responsible, be ethical. I think that's one really important piece about guys. But you can always put your business in your trust.
You should, because if it's not in there and something happens to you, you go to probate, and it's very challenging for a business to go through a probate process.
So even more so than a piece of real property, because business is really hard to evaluate.
Yeah, the evaluation of a business is very difficult, time consuming, and costly.
And in the interim, you don't want if a good business, a money making business, to not be able to operate just because it gets caught in the middle of a proceeding. Okay, so that's something to be mindful of. Always utilize the trust.
And succession plans within the business.
Long-term wise, then you got to think about, if you are rolling from one business to the next, that, it's developing well, you maybe want to take advantage of the 1031 exchange. Okay, if you invest in a business and enroll into a new business, you don't want to pay that capital gain, then you utilize the 1031 exchange. Or just you have to think ahead of time when you're doing your planning. Usually, like business plans, I would do 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, or even 10-year plan. It's actually it sounds annoying to do if you're just doing it for like a business proposal to get a loan or whatnot. But as for your own, so you're grounded. Where you are developing. Where you're going. It's a good thing to do. Just have that planning in place. And so, if you are planning for your tax consequences, you have multiple years to actually play it out.
Right. So, I mean, think about like goal setting. It's kind of like what we talk about the trust. You have this overall structure, you have a vision, and and there's this thing called the backwards planning, right? You set it out for 1 year back, 5 years ahead of time. That is also a motivator. It's also unify your workforce. You know where you're going. You're going towards that vision, and you're
I'll give you
planning
a
that
really
out.
good example. So we've been telling our clients that sunset the estate tax exemption will sunset by the end of
2025.
2025.
Mm-hmm.
Now, usually a lot of people think, oh, it's still early. It's we're only in the second quarter of 2024. But if you're really planning for it, it actually takes time for you to get all your plannings in place, actually executing. You probably need to change the nature of your investments. You probably need to, transfer some of your investments, or, like if you want to sell your business, you want to invest like into a different, a more variable portfolio. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I want to sell this tomorrow, it's sold. No,
Yeah.
it's not that simple. So, for 2025, end of 2025, to, make sure you can get all your tax planning, estate tax planning in place. Right now is actually the time to start. If you're
Yeah.
anywhere close, or, anywhere close to 5 million even, that's a good time to start. So then think about that on the business level. It's even more complicated because you're not dealing with your individual assets. You're dealing with a business entity where there's an extra layer of legality too. It's always good to look ahead and plan ahead.
Yeah, so the forecasting helps, right? You forecast that, you look ahead, and then you plan backwards. So then you could get there.
Just
I
like
mean, that's what we do in our business, right?
we
If
try
you
to get
want-
you prepared.
Right. But we do the meetings ourselves too, right? Like we forecast, we say, this is where we want to be in a year's time. How do we get there? So you get from there here to there, then you fill in the gaps in the middle, and then you keep going there. And then you could take that roadmap. You're planning on a roadmap.
Right. If anything, I think over preparing is better than under preparing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So, to-do list this week, since it is Small Business Week, even though you're probably gonna be celebrating May 4th and May 5th, but something easy. Okay, if you are thinking about starting your own business, or you already have a business, just get yourself a piece of information. Like, just learn something somewhere. Okay, one piece of information about business taxation. Okay, hopefully you find something useful, and if not, you just that little bit smarter.
Yeah, or think about if you're gonna have a partner or not. I don't know what type of business you're gonna have, right? Start structuring. Just always take the first step. It doesn't have to be perfect.
It can
Just
be a
take a
mini
step.
step too.
Yes.
Okay, just do that one little
You'll
step.
get there.
Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend.
Have a
Until
good
next
weekend.
week.